here at the ministry, we get a lot of questions. Is it time to get out of the market? Should I be getting out of the market? And, under most circumstances, the answer is no, unless the reasons that you got in are different or you've learned some things about yourself that lead you to believe that you should not be an investor, because we're not really trying to time the market here. When we get into the market, we know, or we should know, that we're going to experience volatility. We're going to see up years, we're going to see down years, we're going to see sideways years, but the reasons that we're usually motivated to get in is because the return over time is good. And we have to, in order to get that good return over time, we have to give it time. So we can't get in, we can't just say, I'm going to test this out for 6 months and see how it works for me. Because in any given 6 months period, you have a better chance of being positive than you do negative, but the odds aren't that great in your favor in 6 months as they are for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. So what we looked at was that over the 10-year period that started in October of 2007, which was right prior to the financial crisis, if you had invested at the peak of the market at that time, 17 months later, you would have been down, if you were 100% in the market, the S&P 500, you would have been down 54%. $100,000 would have dropped to, $47,000. And you would have likely been very upset after seeing that happen over 17 months. But if you stuck it out, not only did you recover the more than 100% that you needed just to get back to where you were, you went on by the end of that 10-year period to actually double your money and earn a average 10% return. So the market averaged 10% even during that 10-year period, including that 54% decline. So here's where you have to be careful. If you got out when you were down 40%, 50%, or even at the bottom, 54%, statistics tell us that 30% of the people never get back in. So what are you going to do if you say, well, if that happens, I'm going to need to do something different, at least until things get better, right? At least until I start hearing the news that things are better. Well, I can tell you that once you hear the news that things are better, things have already gotten better and you missed getting in when you should have. So you locked in a permanent loss. And let's say that you went to that more conservative portfolio with only a 10% exposure to the market. Well, that portfolio over that 10-year period averaged 1.58%. So does anybody know how long it takes you to recover if you're down 50% and you have to get 100% gain to get back to where you were? How long does it take you at 1.58% per year? The rule of 72 tells us that it would take you about 45 years to get back to that number nominally. That's just in number only. If you factor in inflation over that 45 years, you will never recover your purchasing power. So the moral of the story is, if you can't sit tight when things get volatile, you need to be in a portfolio where you can have the most peace. Because at the end of the day, if you don't implement and execute and stick to your plan, it will not work for you.
Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.